Let me say something that might sound a little uncomfortable. Most people don't become financially secure in their 40s because of what they didn't do before 40. Not because they were lazy, not because they didn't earn enough, but because they focused on the wrong milestones. Here's the strange part. There are two types of people heading toward 40. One person is chasing a big number, net worth, income, savings. The other is quietly building something else, something you can't see on paper. Now here's the twist. By the time they both hit 40, one feels stuck, the other feels free. Same age, very different life. So the real question is, what are the right money milestones before 40? And more importantly, which ones are secretly wasting your time? Here's what most people believe. If I just hit a big number, I'll be fine. Maybe it's $1 million. Maybe it's a paid-off house. Maybe it's a certain salary. And honestly, it sounds logical because numbers feel clear. They feel safe. They give you something to chase. So people spend years thinking like this. I just need to earn more. I just need to save more. I just need to invest more. And yes, those things matter. But here's the problem. That thinking is incomplete because it assumes one dangerous idea, that money is just about how much you have. But here's the catch. You've probably seen people who earn a lot but still feel stressed, or people with a decent net worth but no real freedom. So if the numbers look good, why doesn't life feel good? That's where the hidden flaw starts to show. Here's the hidden assumption most people never question. They think money milestones are just numbers. A bigger salary, a bigger savings account, a bigger net worth. And on the surface, that feels right, because numbers are easy to measure, easy to compare, easy to show off. But here's the problem. Numbers don't tell the full story. Let me explain. Two people can both have $500,000. Same number, but completely different lives. One person needs $10,000 a month to survive. The other lives comfortably on $3,000. Same money, very different pressure. And it gets deeper. One person has stable income. The other depends on one risky source. One has low stress. The other is constantly worried. So the real issue is this. We've been trained to focus on the scoreboard instead of the game. We celebrate the number without asking how fragile it is, without asking how sustainable it is, without asking what happens if life changes. Because life always changes. And this is where most plans quietly break, not because the number was wrong, but because the system behind it was weak. And once that system cracks, the number stops meaning what you thought it did. So if money milestones aren't just numbers, then what are they really?
So if it's not about the number, what actually matters? Think of your money like a simple machine, not a number. A machine. Now imagine two machines. Both look the same from the outside. Same size, same parts, same value. But one machine runs smoothly. The other keeps breaking. Which one would you trust? Exactly. That's how money works. Most people focus on the output of the machine. How much money do I have? But very few people focus on the system inside. How does my money actually work? Here's a simple way to see it. Your financial life has three parts. Money coming in, money going out, money growing in the background. That's it. Simple. But here's where people go wrong. They obsess over just one part, usually income. Make more money, earn more, chase higher salary, but they ignore the rest. Spending habits, consistency, risk, time, and that breaks the machine. Because a strong system is not about one big win. It's about small things working together, every month, every year, quietly. Let me make it even clearer. Person A earns a lot, but spends almost everything. Person B earns less, but saves and invests consistently. At first, Person A looks ahead. Bigger house, better lifestyle, more success. But give it time, and the roles slowly flip, because the system always wins, not the number. And here's the part most people don't realize. A good system creates freedom automatically. A bad system creates stress, even with money. So before chasing bigger milestones, you have to ask one simple question. Is my machine actually working?
So if the system matters more than the number, why do most people still struggle? Why does it break even when income is high? Here's where it starts to fall apart. First problem, lifestyle inflation. You earn more, and slowly your life expands with it. Better phone, better car, better house. Nothing feels extreme, it happens quietly. But here's the catch. Your expenses rise with your income, so no matter how much you earn, it never feels enough. That gap you were supposed to build, it never grows. And without that gap, there is no system, just survival at a higher level. Second problem, overconfidence. Things are going well, money is coming in, so you assume it will always stay that way. But life doesn't work like that. Jobs change, markets drop, opportunities disappear. And if your entire system depends on things going perfectly, it only takes one shock to break everything. Third problem, inconsistency. This one is subtle. People start strong, they save, they invest, they plan, but then life gets busy. They stop tracking, they skip investing, they delay decisions. Just this month turns into just this year, and slowly the system weakens, not because of one big mistake, but because of many small ones. And this is where it really hurts, because on the outside, everything still looks fine. Income is there, lifestyle looks good, but underneath, the foundation is fragile. And one day, it shows. Suddenly, stress increases, decisions feel harder, freedom disappears, and you're left wondering, I did everything right, so why doesn't it feel right? That's the moment most people realize it was never about the number. It was about the system they never built.
Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Meet Raj. He's 38. Good job, good income, stable career. From the outside, everything looks perfect. Nice apartment, new car, vacations every year. If you saw his life on the outside, you'd probably think he's doing really well. But here's the part you don't see. Raj focused on visible milestones, things that people notice, things that feel like progress, a better lifestyle, nicer things, upgrades every year. And none of it felt wrong. That's the dangerous part. It felt normal. It felt deserved. But quietly, other things were missing. No real emergency fund. Maybe 2-3 months at best. Investing? Only when there's extra money, which rarely happens. And almost all his income comes from one source, his job. So everything depends on that. One paycheck. Now meet Amit. Same age, same income, same starting point, but very different choices. Amit didn't chase visible milestones. He focused on boring ones, the kind nobody celebrates. First, he built a 6 to 12-month emergency fund. It took time. It wasn't exciting. But now, he doesn't panic, even if income stops for a while. Second, he set up automatic investing. Every single month, no matter what. Good market, bad market. He keeps going. No thinking, no guessing, just consistency. Third, he built a small second income. Nothing huge, just something extra. A backup, a cushion. And one more thing, he didn't ignore his health. He exercises, eats better, takes care of himself. Because he understands something simple. Money is useless if your body can't keep up. Now here's where it gets interesting. At 38, Raj looks richer. His life looks better. More upgrades, more visible success. But fast forward a few years, something changes. At 45, Raj feels pressure. Expenses are high. Savings are low. One problem, and everything feels unstable. Amit? Calm. Stable. In control. He has options. Not because he earned more, not because he got lucky, but because of the milestones he chose. Quiet ones, boring ones, powerful ones. And that difference, it didn't happen overnight. It was built slowly, month after month, year after year, without noise, without attention. That's how real financial confidence is built. Not by looking rich, but by being prepared.
So what should you actually do before 40? Let's make this simple, not complicated, not overwhelming. Just 5 powerful milestones that actually matter. Milestone 1, the safety layer. Build a 6 to 12-month emergency fund. This is your foundation. This is your protection. Because life is unpredictable. Jobs change, expenses show up, things go wrong. And when that happens, this fund protects you. It gives you time, it gives you space, it gives you control. This is not about returns. It's about peace of mind, sleeping better, thinking clearly, making decisions without fear. Milestone 2, the automatic engine. Set up automatic investing every single month. No breaks, no excuses. Because here's the truth. You don't build wealth in big moments. You build it in small, repeated actions. You don't need to time the market. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up again and again and again. Automation makes this easy. It removes emotion. It removes hesitation. It builds discipline without effort. Milestone 3, the income backup. Create at least one extra income source. It doesn't need to be big. Start small. Because relying on one income is risky, even if it feels safe. One job loss, one industry shift, one bad year, and everything changes. But a second income, even a small one, gives you stability, gives you flexibility, gives you options. Milestone 4, the lifestyle control. This one is simple, but very hard. As your income grows, don't let your lifestyle grow at the same speed. Because if it does, you stay stuck at a higher level. Instead, protect the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is where your future is built. No gap, no investing, no freedom, no progress. Milestone 5, the life direction. This one is often ignored, but it matters the most. Know what your life looks like after 40. Not perfectly, just roughly. Where do you live? How do you spend your time? What actually matters to you? Because money without direction gets wasted. People earn, save, invest, and still feel lost because they never decided what it was all for. And here's the key. These are not random goals. They are connected. They work together, like a system. Emergency fund gives safety, investing builds growth, extra income adds stability, lifestyle control protects progress, direction gives meaning. And when all of this works together, something powerful happens. You stop worrying about money and start using money to build your life. You don't need to rush. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. That's it. And that's what actually creates freedom. Let's make this crystal clear. 2 people, same starting point, same income, same age, but 2 very different paths. Person 1, chasing the number, earns more every year, upgrades lifestyle with every raise, saves when possible, invests sometimes, relies on things going well. On paper, impressive, but behind the scenes, tight, fragile, always one problem away from stress. Person 2, building the system, maybe earns the same or even less, but keeps a gap, automates saving and investing, builds stability first, stays consistent even when it's boring. On paper, nothing flashy, but in real life, calm, controlled, flexible. Now fast forward 10 years. Person 1 has a bigger life, but less control. Person 2 has a simpler life, but more freedom. And that's the truth most people miss. Wealth is not about looking rich. It's about being free. And freedom doesn't come from numbers. It comes from systems. The quiet kind, the boring kind, the kind nobody talks about, but everybody wishes they had later.
So let's break the biggest myth.
Money milestones are not about hitting a number, not 500K, not 1 million, not even retirement savings, because numbers can look strong and still fail you. That's the part nobody talks about. Here's the truth. You don't build wealth by chasing numbers. You build wealth by building a system that works without you thinking about it. A system that saves, a system that invests, a system that protects you when life goes wrong. Because life will go wrong. Unexpected expenses, market drops, career changes. That's normal. But if your system is strong, those things don't destroy you. They just slow you down. So before you turn 40, don't ask, how much money do I have? Ask, does my money actually work? Because in the end, the goal is not to look successful. The goal is to feel secure, to have options, to have peace of mind. And the people who reach that point aren't the ones who chased the biggest number. They're the ones who built the strongest system, quietly, consistently, over time. That's the real milestone. And most people realize it too late.